Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the NFL this offseason, you know the Steelers have been making waves. They've been incredibly active, and I mean, really reshaping their roster in ways that have fans buzzing. It's not just about minor tweaks anymore. It's about aggressive moves, bold signings, and strategic trades that could propel this team back to the top of the AFC. And one of the most surprising, yet most exciting, pieces of this puzzle involves a name that you might not have expected to hear in Pittsburgh: Jameis Winston. That's right, Winston, the veteran quarterback, could soon be wearing the black and gold. And if this trade goes through, it might be one of the smartest moves the Steelers have made in recent years. But let's back up a little and talk about the bigger picture. Everyone is talking about the quarterback position, especially with the addition of Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Rodgers, the seasoned veteran, coming off a strong bounce-back year with the New York Jets, is now the new face of Pittsburgh's offense. He threw for nearly 900 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions last season. And that's no small feat considering he was coming off an ACL tear the year before. It took him some time to get fully comfortable on the field, but once he did, he looked like the Rodgers we've all known for years. Sharp, precise, and still capable of threading passes that leave defenses in the dust. And what's fascinating is that Rodgers isn't just here to fill a spot. No, he's here to win another Super Bowl, plain and simple. The Steelers have surrounded him with a talented roster. On offense, they've added players that make their attack more explosive than ever. Their offensive line is improving. They've got skill players who can make plays after the catch, and their defense remains one of the toughest in the league. This team, on paper, looks like a legitimate contender, and Rodgers' leadership could be the final piece of the puzzle. But, and here's the catch, every team that's serious about contending knows that the backup quarterback position is crucial. The last thing any team wants is to be one injury away from disaster. And Pittsburgh right now still has Mason Rudolph as their backup, a guy who, let's be honest, doesn't exactly inspire confidence in fans or analysts alike. If Rodgers goes down, the Steelers need someone reliable to step in and keep the ship afloat. That's where Jameis Winston might come into play. Winston, who's currently with the New York Giants, has been a name on the trade block for a while now. New York has reportedly set a pretty high asking price for him, but if the Steelers are willing to pay it, they could be getting a really valuable piece for their quarterback room. Winston proved last year that he can still produce at a high level, especially when given the chance to start. He filled in nicely for the Browns for 7 games, throwing for over 100 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but when you consider the context, coming into games mid-season, trying to adapt quickly, Winston showed resilience and the ability to lead an offense. The Steelers, with their talented skill players, wouldn't be asking Winston to do too much. They just want him to manage the game when needed, avoid costly mistakes, and keep the offense moving. That's a role he's familiar with, and frankly, that's exactly what he excelled at when he was with the Browns last year. Now, imagine the potential of Winston stepping in if Rodgers gets injured. Pittsburgh's offense is already loaded with talent, players like their emerging receivers, tight ends, and a solid running game, and Winston's experience could be enough to keep this team competitive in the AFC, which, as we all know, is loaded with talent and playoff contenders. This move, if it happens, makes a lot of sense. The Steelers are all in on the Super Bowl run, and they can't afford to leave any stone unturned. Every year, we see how vital having a dependable backup quarterback truly is. Just look at the history of recent Super Bowl winners. Most of them had a reliable second option, a guy who could come in and keep the team alive during tough times. Pittsburgh's roster is strong enough to compete, but the quarterback position behind Rodgers needs to be solidified, and Winston could be that guy. Now, let's talk about what this means for the team and their season prospects. With Rodgers leading the charge, the Steelers are expected to be one of the top teams in the AFC. Their defense remains formidable, and their offensive weapons, including the likes of their skill players, are primed to make a difference. But the real question mark has always been about consistency and depth. They've addressed some of those issues with their recent signings, but the backup quarterback spot has been an ongoing concern. If Winston joins, it could be a game changer, providing not only depth, but also a proven veteran who can step up if needed. And for Steelers fans, it's about the hope of finally seeing your team return to the Super Bowl stage. The AFC is tougher than ever, with teams like the Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals all vying for supremacy, but Pittsburgh's mix of veteran leadership, emerging talent, and strategic moves like adding Winston could give them the edge they need. It's about creating a roster that's not just good enough to compete, but good enough to win it all. In terms of what to expect moving forward, the Steelers are clearly making a statement. They're not just content with being playoff contenders, they want to be champions. The addition of Rodgers was a major step, but the backup quarterback situation remains critical. If they manage to land Winston, it could be the piece that completes their puzzle, giving them peace of mind and a better shot at making a deep playoff run. It's all about maximizing their chances, minimizing risks, and playing their best football when it matters most. And speaking of the season ahead, the Steelers' schedule will be tough as always. Division rivalries in AFC North will be intense, and every game will count. The AFC is stacked, and every team is looking for an edge. Pittsburgh's goal is clear: get back to the playoffs, go deep, and finally bring home that elusive 7th Super Bowl trophy. With Rodgers at the helm and someone like Winston potentially ready to step in when needed, they're setting themselves up for a very exciting season. So, fans, what do you think about all of this? Are you excited about the possibility of Winston joining the Steelers? Do you believe this move could be the difference maker that pushes Pittsburgh over the top? Or do you think they should explore other options? Whatever your thoughts, this is a story that's going to develop over the coming weeks, and I promise you, we'll be right here to update you with the latest news, analysis, and insights. To wrap things up, this offseason has been a clear statement from the Steelers. They're not just playing to compete, they're playing to win it all. The combination of Rodgers' experience, the talented roster around him, and the potential addition of Winston could make this one of the most exciting Steelers seasons in recent memory. It's about resilience, strategic moves, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. The AFC is watching, fans are hyped, and the Steelers are ready to make their mark. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting your team because this season could be one for the history books. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Winston is the perfect backup for Rodgers? Are you confident that this team can finally get over the hump and reach the Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about your favorite team. So stay tuned because the season is approaching, and the Steelers are gearing up for a remarkable campaign. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep that Steelers pride alive.